In our next step or next pass, we need to pair up or join the items. We need to make pairs of the items. So not all the items, pairs of not all the items, but only those items which successfully cross the minimum acceptance level. So as we have counted that we have such P2 count items, number of items equal to P2 count which successfully cross the minimum acceptance level. So number of pairs we can simply get by NC2, where N will be the total number of elements or items which successfully cross the minimum acceptance level, that is P2 count. So on simplifying NC2, as we get n minus 1 by 2, so total number of pairs will be int y is equal to P2 count into P2 count minus 1 whole divided by 2. This will be the total number of pairs. Now we will have to again store them along with their frequencies. That is, we need to have a frequency table again. So for that, I am having a 2D array here by the name of int L2. So maximum number of pairs as we calculated in just above 44th line. Why? So int L2 y and number of columns will be 3. First for the first item of the pair, second for the second item of the pair, and third for the frequency of that pair. Now we are also need to have int L2p position POS, basically an iterator. As we above have P2 POS, I'm going to initialize it with 0, and we'll have counters. We'll need to have counters. Here we'll need two counter. First counter for counting the total number of pairs, and second counter for counting the occurrence of each pair in the transaction table. So for counting the total number of pairs, I am having L2j count, initializing it with 0, and for counting the occurrence of each pair in the transaction table, I am having L2o, O for I am abbreviating for occurrence, L2o occurrence counter, so O L2o count, initializing it with 0. Now we will need to iterate through each and every item which successfully crossed the minimum acceptance threshold, which was stored in P2 items array. So for that, int I is equal to 0 to I less than P2 count, in which we stored the total count of the items which successfully crossed the minimum acceptance level. And as we need to pair them up, for pairing, so int j is equal to I plus 1, j less than P2 count, j plus plus. So here, now we also need to ensure that we don't have pairs of same elements such as 1 1 2 2 etc. So for that, I am putting condition that L1 of I must not be equal to L1 of j. Sorry, not L1, because L1 have all those items, but rather we need to replace L1 with P2 items, because in P2 items we stored only those items which successfully crossed the minimum acceptance level. So P2 items I not equal to P2 items j. And if this condition satisfies, that we have a proper pair of two non-equal elements, then we will increment our L2j count, that we got a pair. We'll store it in our L2 frequency table. So L2 ith pair, first element of ith pair. So for that, L2